Far from city lights, out on my farm, the night sky shimmers with stars. The universe is made of stories, not atoms, wrote the poet Muriel Rukeyser. I love stories. As a writer and environmental scientist living on a farm in the outback, I love creating worlds through words. One fascinating ancient story that is told around the globe is that of the 7 stars in the Pleiades constellation, often describing 7 sisters fleeing from hunters. Yet if we look to the night skies today, only 6 stars shine. That 7th star burnt out over 100,000 years ago. This is a marvel of how human story endures. Here we are on a planet, the only one like it that we know of in infinite time and darkness, an anomaly of extraordinary proportions. Every poem ever spoken, every song ever sung, every love letter ever written, all created right here on our beautiful planet with ugly problems. A climate crisis, an extinction crisis, an apathy, it's all about me crisis. A world that feels at times like it's at the point of collapse. Yet I'm here to tell you that that end is not inevitable, and with hope in one hand and courage in the other, we can write a better story. Because true hope is a discipline, not an emotion. It's about confronting reality with integrity and courage to create something better. And when we face life's challenges, define what really matters, and take responsibility for our actions, we can rediscover hope for our future. My world is my farm, yet in the paddock, we face another dry year. We've sold off our livestock. In lieu of rain, clouds of dust float along the skyline, rust red corroding the blue horizon. Birds that used to colour the skies and sing music from the trees have all but disappeared. Their silence pains me. But what pains me more is that my story is not unique. Across the country and across the world, farmers are watching their fields blow away in drought, drown in flood, burn in flames, a climate in collapse. And when farmers can't farm, feeding ourselves becomes problematic. Hunger becomes unrest. Conflict becomes social cannibalism as we turn on ourselves. Environmental breakdown ignites social breakdown, ignites environmental breakdown, ignites social breakdown. And this is only at 1.5 degrees above base. But we tell ourselves things will be okay, everything will be okay, no worries. Reduce, reuse, recycle, buy green, buy clean, buy now. We can buy our way out of this problem because sustainable growth has budgeted for blind ignorance. We elect politicians that will do something, surely, this time. And then another scientific report lands with a thud. Head in hands, tears in eyes, a problem became an emergency, became a crisis. And now we have become overwhelmed, irritable and apathetic. Misinformation, disinformation, denial, choose your dish. The media reflects our fears back on themselves in a feedback loop that only serves to feed those fears, consume our hope, edging us closer to giving up. Cynicism whispers, it's too complicated, it's too late. Let the social architects and oligarchs have their way. What are we to do even if we wanted? Hand shaking, hand clapping, finger pointing, finger wagging. We've tried it all. The clickbait titles tell us the future is either apocalyptic or candy canes. Both encourage us to look away. We congratulate and condemn. We pray and we plead, but nothing seems to change as fast as we so desperately want or need. The future we grew up thinking was guaranteed no longer seems so. It's true I cannot offer salvation, but nor will I tell you the end is bleak, because that end has not yet been determined. What I can tell you is that we are not powerless. We are not hopeless or helpless. Our story is not written for us, it is written by us. And because of that, there is hope. For every day is a chance to act. Know this, every day matters, every choice matters, every fraction of a degree matters. Your actions matter. When we look back at the course of human history, we find that greatest hope often arises at times of greatest suffering and uncertainty. Why? Because this is when meaning is magnified, when purpose is most profound, when shallow values like wealth and status and validation no longer sustain, and instead, care, compassion, selflessness take flight. The author Emily Dickinson wrote that hope is a thing with feathers that perches in the soul and sings a tune without words that never stops at all. A bird within us that sings the loudest and the sweetest songs during the storm and the gale. And to be clear, I'm not talking about passive hope or naive optimism waiting for someone to do something. I'm talking about real hope. The kind of hope with calloused hands and dusty boots. The kind of hope that keeps planting, testing, trialing, farming, even when the outcome is uncertain. If hope is a bird within us, then maybe courage are the trembling hands that hold it. Real hope is having a vision for the future and then taking steps to make it a reality. And that kind of hope takes courage. Out on my farm, when the rains finally do return, the birds flock in their thousands, the skies shimmer with greens and golds and pinks, the trees fill with song, the land breathes. Again, that moment reminds me that life is waiting just beyond our sight. For me, that is when hope becomes visible. The returning birds also teach me something else, that hope needs action to take flight. On my family's farm, we are living that lesson. We have set up conservation reserves to protect rare and threatened species. We have shifted our grazing to focus on biodiversity conservation. We are powering our homes with renewable energy and charging our electric vehicles with sunlight. We have opened our farm gates to researchers running trials. These are small steps, perhaps, but they are part of a bigger picture. Because across the country and across the world, I see farmers choosing courage over comfort. They are drawing carbon back into the land through reforestation and regenerative grazing. They are generating income from solar and wind projects while cutting emissions. They are cutting methane from their livestock with better breeding and feeding. They're feeding the world while looking after it too. These aren't ideas for tomorrow. They're happening in the paddocks right now. And the exciting thing is that all of you play a role. Because the climate crisis doesn't stop at the farm gate. It impacts the prices in your supermarket. It impacts the nutrition in every bite your child takes. It impacts whether foods you love are on the shelf or not. But the good news is, when we make climate-conscious food choices, we flip the problem. We become part of the solution. By choosing to eat local, nutrient-dense and native foods, by choosing to refuse single-use plastics and reduce food waste, by choosing to pay a fair price for your food, we give farmers the financial resources to farm in ways that heal, not harm the planet. Your choices matter. Your choices are essential. And beyond the plate, there's even more we can do. power our home with clean, renewable energy, refuse fast fashion and mindless materialism, vote for politicians that show real climate courage. These are the steps that we take to create the future we want. And what does that future look like? How about clean air filling our lungs, standing beneath trees older than our grandparents' grandparents, where everyone lives peacefully, with dignity, with bellies full of fresh food, sweet and delicious and nutritious food, grown from thriving farms, in a world that no longer needs saving. This is a future within our reach. The truth is, we know what to do. What we need now is to scale up our actions, to speed up our actions, to act in a way like our future depends on it. We know these are challenging times, and we could let fear and apathy define our story, or we could choose hope and courage. Climate projections can only offer us possibilities and probabilities. It is up to us to determine what the reality will be. What I know is that we are a determined species. We are innovative and imaginative. We are resilient and empathetic. We do not like seeing suffering and pain. We are problem solvers, and we will solve this problem because we do not put up with intolerable situations. Far from city lights out on the farm, when we look to the stars and we consider our story stretching long behind us and far in front of us, we reflect on our responsibility at this moment in time. The seventh star in the Pleiades constellation burnt out over 100,000 years ago, and humans are still telling its story. What will future generations tell of us? Will they say that we were the generation who chose courage over comfort, action over apathy, hope over despair? That choice is ours. That moment is now. Every day matters. Every choice matters. Every fraction of a degree matters. Your actions matter. So what will you do? What choices will you make? What actions will you take? Because somewhere the birds are waiting to shimmer across the skies again, returning colour and life, visible hope taking flight from our courage. So let us hold hope in one hand and courage in the other, and write the story our planet deserves.